Good morning, students. In today's topic, today's class, we are going to discuss about the continuation to the yesterday's class. In yesterday's class, we have discussed about this GPRS architecture. GPRS architecture. We discussed about what is GPRS, why we have why we have selected GPRS, and what are the advantages of GPRS over this. What are the advantages of GPRS over HSCD, and what is the architecture and what is the architecture reference model of this GPRS in yesterday's class. I'm repeating once again. We'll give a short explanation on GPRS architecture once again. Here in this GPRS architecture, these are the components, and this diagram represents GPRS architecture reference model. Here in this diagram, the communication happens between public data network and mobile station. The public data network and mobile station. Source is public data network and destination is mobile station. The data passes through from public data network to gateway GPRS support node GGSN, GGSN to SGSN, service GPRS support node, SGSN to base station subsystem, base station subsystem to mobile station. These are all several interfaces. Already I told you, UM is interface between mobile station and base station subsystem. GB is the interface between base station subsystem and service GPRS support node. GN is the interface between gateway GPRS support node and service GPRS support node. And GI is the interface between public data network and gateway GPRS support node. And these are other components. And this is HLR, home location register, or GPRS register. Like it is like HLR in GSM architecture, which is a permanent database and which keeps track of all mobile station information. And this is the equipment identity register. This will keep track of the equipment numbers and everything like IMEI numbers, etc. And this is the mobile switching center. This will take care of signaling information. And this is VLR, this is visitor location register. It is like a temporary database, and it will assign the TMSI numbers, temporary mobile station identification, TMSI numbers to mobile station when it is out of the home network. These are the other components. Here in this diagram we have seen SGS, here two SGSNs. That means one GGSN can maintain, can control more than one GGSN, and every SGSN controls some BSS. One BSS can control several mobile stations. Our source destination is this mobile station. This is under this base station subsystem, and this base station subsystem is under this SGSN, and this SGSN is controlled by this GGSN. So the data is passed through this DGSN, gateway GPRS support node. This is the complete GPRS architecture reference model. Now we are moving to the next topic, that is GPRS protocols. Like previously we discussed about one protocol architecture, protocol structure, GSM protocol layers for signaling. Likewise, now we are going to discuss about GPRS transmission plane control reference model. That is, this represents what are the protocols involved in GPRS reference model. What are the several protocols involved in GPRS reference model? Okay, first see the components of this diagram. This is mobile station, and this is base station subsystem, and this is SGSN, service GPRS support node, and this is GGSN, that is gateway GPRS support node. These are several interfaces. This GI interface, see my cursor point, this GI interface is the interface between GGSN and right side there is a public data network. and GN. GN is the interface between SGSN and GGSN, and GB is the interface between BSS and SGSN, and UM is the interface. Always we repeatedly said this is the interface between mobile station and base station, and this is a wireless interface or radio interface. Wireless interface or radio interface. Now we will discuss about each and every component layers. Here we have several layers at mobile station. These are the protocols, several protocols at mobile station, and these are the protocols at the base station. These are the protocols at SGSN, service GPRS support node, and these are the layers at gateway GPRS support node. Gateway GPRS support node. Now we are going to discuss about mobile station layers. See here, already I told you in GSM protocol stack, this is the radio. This is the radio means this is the protocol at physical layer. Here these three are LLC sublayer, RLC sublayer, MAC sublayer. These three comes under data link layer protocols. MAC, medium access control sublayer, RLC, radio link control, LLC, logical link control. These three comes under data link layer protocols. Now coming to the above three, IP X.2 Internet Protocol version X.25 is the protocol of this network layer, and SNDCP. SNDCP is Subnetwork Dependent Convergence Protocol. Subnetwork Dependent Convergence Protocol. This is also part of the network layer. These are the protocols at mobile station. These are the protocols at mobile station. Now moving to the next one, base station subsystem. Already we know about base station subsystem. Here, see the difference between, see the difference here, see my cursor point. This is radio. That means these two will communicate. That means these two means mobile station and base station subsystem will communicate through radio interface. Will communicate through radio interface. Okay, this is the radio interface. This is the MAC sublayer, a data link layer, RLC, and this is the BSS GP, that is base station subsystem GPRS protocol. Base station subsystem GPRS protocol, and this is called as frame relay. All you need to know about frame relay. What is a frame relay? A frame relay is like a packet switched communication service. This is a packet switched communication. Here FR means frame relay. It is like a packet switched communication service from LANs, and it is like a backbone to network, all networks like LANs, WANs, etc. And it operates two layers. Here the frame relay operates two layers. That layers are physical layer and data link layer, and also it supports all standard physical layer protocols like physical layer protocols ante entamma ikkada idi mobile station wireless kabatti radio normal ga physical layer protocols ante enti. One second, I will let you know. These are the PCM. PCM is the physical layer protocol. It will support all physical layer protocols, and when this frame relay will be used, the frame relay uses the virtual circuits to multiple remote sites. It will uses for virtual circuits to connect here. Virtual circuits to connect to a single router to a multiple remote sites. Okay, this is about base station subsystem. Now here the third one, SGSN. SGSN, here this is the very important point. Why? Because this SGSN controls this BSS. This BSS controls this MS, and this GGSN controls this SGSN. Now these are the several. This is the frame relay. I already told you it is a network. It will control two layers, and this is BSS GP, that is base station subsystem GPRS protocol. LLC, logical link control. SNDCP, that is subnetwork subnetwork protocol. And this GTP, that is the GPR. This is the very important protocol in GPRS. This is called as GTP. This GTP will be used to communicate from SGSN to GGSN or GGSN to SGSN. This is the very important protocol which is used for communication between GGSN and SGSN, that is Service GPRS Support Node and Gateway GPRS Support Node. This is the UDP and TCP. UDP and TCP are the these are the protocols. One is UDP is the connectionless protocol, and TCP, this is unreliable protocol, and TCP is the reliable connection oriented protocol. This IP is the internet protocol, and L1, L2. Here L1 and L2 represents physical layer and data link layer. Physical layer and data link layer. Now moving to the last one. This is the gateway GPRS support node. In this L1, L2 represents physical layer and data link layer. IP represents network layer, and GDP. These three are the different protocols. UDP, it may uses UDP protocol or TCP protocol. Otherwise, it may uses GTP protocol, that is GPRS tunneling protocol. GTP means GPRS tunneling protocol, or it may uses IP X.25 protocols. Okay, these are the in this diagram or in this GPRS protocol stack. All you need to know, what are the protocols present at each component. What are the protocols at mobile station? What are the protocols at each layers at base station subsystem? What are the protocols at each layer in service GPRS support node? And what are the protocols at each layers in gateway GPRS support node? And just you need to know what are the protocols presented at each layer, at each device. And already I told you in the GPRS architecture diagram, the communication flow from GGSN to SGSN, SGSN to BSS, BSS to MS via these interfaces. For any communication system, we need to have two important ones. That is, one is interface and one is a protocol. These two are very important. Without interface and without a protocol, there is no communication in any network. Okay, this is all about GPRS transmission plane control reference model. This diagram represents protocols at each layers. The protocols at mobile station, the protocols at base station subsystem, the protocols at service GPRS support node, the protocols at gateway GPRS support node. Okay, this is all about GPRS, complete GPRS. In GPRS, we have discussed in yesterday's class and today's class, we have discussed about What is GPRS? First, it is a new data service. Before GPRS, we have used HSCD, that is high speed circuit switched data. It has some difficulties and it has some flaws. To overcome the flaws, to overcome the difficulties, but because it still uses some connection oriented services. To overcome that, we move back, we are moving to the new data service, that is GPRS, General Packet Radio Service. This General Packet Radio Service will work like a, yesterday I told you, it will work like a web request and web response, a web request and web response. Okay. And we discussed about what is the GPRS in yesterday's class. We discussed about GPRS architecture reference model, and well as today in today's class we discussed about GPRS plane transmission plane control reference model. In this at this point we have completed entire first unit syllabus, with each and every topic. And now I will move to I will move back from first topic to end of the first unit, this GPRS, and I will tell you at about each and every topic. Give me a while. Yeah. Okay, in the first class, I'm repeating the syllabus, and I will today I will share you the material also about first unit. This is the material I am showing you, which I am going to give you. This is first we discussed about what is a mobile computing. Already I told you the mobile computing is it is an umbrella term which is used to describe the technologies. It is mainly for the users. It enables the users to access the network services from any place, anytime, and anywhere. This is the main purpose of mobile computing. Thereafter, we discussed about the four characteristics of a communication device. Four characteristics of a communication device. If you have, please students listen these topics carefully and refresh once. If you have any doubt, and just let me know. And these are the four properties, four characteristics of any communication device. These characteristics, either of these characteristics must be applicable to any communication device. That is, first one is fixed and wired. The example is desktop computer. The second one is mobile and wired. The example is laptop computer. Next, the fixed and wireless. Example, we may use this type of services at historical buildings. Last one, mobile and wireless. Example is our mobile devices and mobile phones. Okay. Moving to the next topic discussed in first unit, that is applications of mobile computing. In the applications of mobile computing, we discussed about vehicle application. It will be used in vehicles, and it will used in emergency situations. It will uses in business applications where to give important presentations. And I told you the traveling salesman needs to know the status of the business. At that point of time, he may use his mobile device, and he might know the status of the business and the stock at the stock room and everything. This is in business case. And credit card verification system, the mobile replacement of wired networks, and infotainment. These are the several applications of mobile computing, and in these all application, the mobile computing will be useful. And we discussed about the several limitations of mobile computing too. Those are battery problem, that is resource constraints, interference, that is nothing but one transmission is interfered into another transmission, that is one case. Bandwidth, major problem is bandwidth. Already most of the researchers are working on the bandwidth to improve the bandwidth capacity Why? Because why the bandwidth is plays vital role in communication. Uh, yeah, when compared to wired system and wireless system, the transmission rate or the data rate will be low when compared to connection oriented system in connectionless systems. Next, dynamic changes in communication environments, because it does not follow any fixed topology. That is the one case. And network issues, that is the problem. Next, last one, interoperability issues. This is all regarding protocols. These are the several limitations in mobile computing. Okay. And last one, security constraints. Next topic we discussed in this unit is a simplified reference model. This is very simple, as it name is. The simplified reference model shows here how the communication happens between the wireless. This is a wireless device, and this is a intermediate system, and this is a fixed system. And these are the several layers here in that wireless system. That is nothing but a PDA, personal digital assistant. These are the several layers: physical, data link, network, transport, and application layers. And see here, these are the layers at this intermediate system, and these are the layers at fixed system. That is like you may assume it is a desktop system. You see here the medium between desktop system and intermediate system or modem. It is a physical communication. Here you see the difference for a PDA wireless device, and between this one it is a radio communication, that is a wireless communication. Here we discussed about physical layer. What is the responsibilities of physical layer? Already we discussed in OSI model, in computer networks, TCP/IP model, reference model, and everywhere. Same responsibilities: physical layer, data link layer, network layer, transport layer, and application layer. Okay, these are the layers we are going to discuss in a simplified reference model in mobile communication. Now moving to the next topic, that is GSM. This is the very important one, which we are already all we are using and experiencing and utilizing the services of GSM and day-to-day life. The GSM means a global system for mobile communications. In this GSM, we have already discussed what are the GSM services. Already I told you it provides three types of services. One is bearer services and tele services, that is telecommunication services, and supplementary services. I already told you the importance of GSM. These are the several services: bearer services, supplementary services, and tele services. Later, we discussed a very important topic, that is this diagram which you are seeing on the screen. That is GSM architecture. This is very important diagram. If you know well about this diagram, if you know the relationships, the connections between the components in this diagram, definitely you might understand further topics. Here see, in this GSM architecture, I will give you a short note on this GSM architecture. Uh, the GSM architecture is comprising of three components, three parts. One is see, this is the radio subsystem, and this is the network subsystem. This is operations and subsystem. And these are the components. This is the very important. I'm repeatedly told you, this particular point is called a radio cell, and this particular point is called a radio cell. This radio cell containing a mobile station and BTS connected with UM interface, and this circle, this circle, all this circle is known as base station subsystem. This is BSS. BSS, BTS. BTS means base transceiver station. BSS means base station subsystem. Here, base station subsystem contains several radio cells and as well as it contains BSC. See here, the BSC is the also a part of a BSS. BSS is also a part of BSS. BSC is also a part of BSS, and this BSC controls BTS. One BSC may control several BTS. One BS may control several BTS. See here, I told you about interfaces. This is one interface between BTS and MS, that is UM. Here one more interface between, this is ABIS interface. Already I told you in GSM protocol stack. BSC की BTS की మధ్యలో ఉండే ఇంటర్ఫేస్ ఏమంటామంటే ABIS ఇంటర్ఫేస్ అంటాం, ABIS. Next, this is MSC, mobile switching center, and these are all the components of NSS, network subsystem. MSC, mobile switching center, it will take care of all signaling information. VLR, visitor location register, it will keep track of all TMSI numbers and temporary data. HLR, home location register, which will keep track of all subscribers information which will be stored permanently in the database. Here, this is also MSC, this is GMSC, gateway mobile switching center, and these are several public data networks. These are several public data networks, ISDN, PSTN, PDN, and equipment identity register also part of NSS. This will stores the mobile device numbers like IMEI numbers, etc. And the user's authentication. And last one is the operations and maintenance center. This will be connected to all parts of the all parts in the in the GSM network. Okay, this is about GSM architecture, and this is the definitions for each and every one. What are the parts in network switch? NSS lo emuntai, HLR, VLR, that is authentication center, equipment identity register, mobile switching center. Next, radio subsystem lo emuntai mobile stations untai. Next, radio subsystem untadi. Next, BSS, base station subsystem, and these are the components. And last one, operations and support system. The operation and support system ఏంటంటే it will connect to all parts of GSM architecture. Okay, this is about GSM architecture. Now, next we discussed about radio interface. This particular diagram shows GSM TDMA frames, GSM TDMA FDMA frames. Here in this diagram, the SDMA is absent. The responsibility of, here we have three components. One is SDMA. It will take care of mobile device. అంటే ఏ మొబైల్ డివైస్ కి ఏ బేస్ ట్రాన్స్సీవర్ స్టేషన్ నుంచి సిగ్నల్ రిసీవ్ చేసుకోవాలి. ఏ మొబైల్ స్టేషన్ హ్యాస్ టు రిసీవ్ సిగ్నల్స్ ఫ్రమ్ ఏ బేస్ BTS. అది ఏ BTS నుంచి సిగ్నల్ తీసుకోవాలి అని డిసైడ్ చేసేది ఎవరంటే స్పేస్ డివిజన్ మల్టిపుల్ యాక్సెస్, SDMA. నెక్స్ట్, దిస్ డయాగ్రామ్ షోస్ GSM TDMA frame and FDMA. Here this is FDMA. The above part is a FDMA. In the FDMA, we have two parts, 124 channels for downlink, 124 channels for uplink. This range is from 890 to 915 for uplink, 935 to 960 megahertz for downlink. Here to 120 entire 124 240 channels are capacity of 200 kilohertz. This is the frequency. and this is the GSM TDMA frame. This is the GSM TDMA frame, and this TDMA frame is having 8 time slots, 1 to 8, 8 time slots, and periodicity is 4.615 milliseconds. Now in GSM TDMA frame, here this is the each one time slot. Here we discussed about each time slot. Here it is a one time slot in GSM TDMA frame, and each time slot is containing these parts: guard space, tail information. Guard space is this will guard this is also a guard space. ఈ guard space వల్ల యూజ్ ఏంటంటే ఒక టైం స్లాట్ లో ఉండే ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఇంకొక టైం స్లాట్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ తోటి ఇంటర్ఫియర్ అవ్వకుండా this guard space will be used and it will protect the slot. And tile information ఏంటంటే it will starting ఒక tile ఉంటుంది, ending ఒక tile ఉంటుంది. This will show starting and ending and user data, training data and capital S. This is a GSM time slot. The periodicity for this each time slot is 546.5 without guard space. With guard space అయితే కనుక 577. Next, this is all about this time slots, and next we discussed about very important topic, that is this is logical channels and frame hierarchy. We discussed about two type of channels. One is physical channel and one is logical channel, and further I will show you this diagram again. Further, the traffic channels, the logical channels multi two categories ga divide ani. One is traffic channel and one is, this is the diagram. Logical channels anevi two parts ga divide ani. First one is traffic channels, second one is control channels or signaling channels. Again, this traffic channel main ga endukante it will take care of the speech information. దాంట్లో వచ్చేటప్పటికి దీంట్లో స్పీచ్ టూ ఛానల్స్ ఉన్నాయి, హాఫ్ రేట్ ఛానల్స్, ఫుల్ రేట్ ఛానల్స్. హాఫ్ రేట్ అయితే కనుక 11.4, ఫుల్ రేట్ అయితే 22.8. నెక్స్ట్ డేటా 2.4, 4.8, 9.6. అండ్ దీస్ ఆర్ ఆల్ ద several classifications of traffic channels and control channels. Traffic channels and control channels, I already told you about all these channels. In the next we discussed about GSM protocols. These are all the protocols at each component. These are the protocols at each layer at mobile station. These are all protocols at each layer at BTS, each layer at BSC and at MSC. Okay, this is about protocol architecture in GSM for signaling. We discussed about localization and calling. Before going to localization and calling, we discussed about different types of numbers. Why? Because only 10-digit mobile number is not sufficient to locate the mobile device. Sometimes, depending upon the locations, it may be required for following numbers. Those are MS-ISDN number and IMSI numbers and TMSI numbers and MSRN numbers. These are all the several types of numbers which are required to locate the mobile stations, for mobile stations. In the localization and calling, we discussed about MTC and MOC. In MTC, we discussed about how the call will be connected from calling station, that is fixed station, to mobile station. I already told you each and every step. Next, we discussed about MOC, mobile originated call. In mobile originated call, this is reverse to MTC. That is, in MTC, the call is started from a fixed station or calling station to mobile station. Here, the call starts from mobile station to fixed station, that is calling station. That is MTC and MOC. And this shows a message flow. What is the message flow in the MT? This is the left one is for MTC and right one is for MOC. These are all the message flows. Later we discussed about handovers. 4 type of handovers we discussed about. That is here. First one is intra-cell handover. Second one is inter-cell intra-BSc. Third one inter-BSc intra-MSc, and fourth one is inter-MSc handover. And this diagram shows the handover, how the handover decision will be taken. That will be depending upon the receiving level. As the mobile station is moving from old base station, old BTS to new BTS, here at one point, that is HO margin, handover margin, it will decides and it will receive the signals from new base transceiver station. And this is the intra-MSc handover we discussed in yesterday's class. The next topic we discussed here is the security. In the security, we discussed about 2 security services. In the first security service, we discussed about access. This diagram shows about access control and authentication. Here, we will check the subscriber authentication. To check the subscriber authentication, we might use here A3 algorithm. Only 3 algorithms are used in GSM security. A3 algorithm is used for user authentication. A5 algorithm is used for encryption of data. A8 algorithm is used for generation of a cipher tree. This diagram shows the subscriber authentication. And next, this is the second security service, that is confidentiality. In this diagram, you have used 2 algorithms, A8 for generation of cipher key. After generation of cipher key, by using that cipher key, we encrypted the data by using A5 algorithm. For generation of cipher key, we have used A8 algorithm. These are the securities in GSM. Later, we discussed about new data services, that is, we discussed about HSCD, that is the high-speed circuit switched data, and what are the disadvantages of high-speed circuit switched data. And now we move to GPRS, that is new data service, general packet radio service. We discussed about several functionalities and advantages, and we also discussed about several security services such as authentication, access control, user identity, confidentiality, and everything. Next, we discussed about GPRS architecture reference model. GPRS architecture reference model, we discussed how the communication happens from a public data network to mobile station. It happens from public data network to GGSN, GGSN to SGSN, SGSN to BSS, BSS to MS, and discussed about each component here. Later we discussed about GPRS transmission plane control reference model in today's class itself, Okay, this is all about your first unit in mobile computing. Okay, I covered each and every topic, and one more topic I skipped in the first unit. I told you yesterday, that is this one, GSM frame hierarchy. In GSM frame hierarchy, we discussed about what is TDMA frame, and what is a multi-frame, and what is a super frame, and what is a hyperframe. Okay, and here in this diagram shows the GSM frame hierarchy. Okay, here the TDMA frame is containing 8 time slots, and 26 multi-frame is containing 26 TDMA frames. 51 multi-frame contains 51 TDMA frames. These two are combined to form a super frame, that is 51 into 26, 51 by 26 multi-frame, or 26 by 51 multi-frame. And again the hyperframe, this is these two are combining 51 into 6 to form a hyperframe, which is having a 2 power 4 2 so 2048 super frames, that is a hyperframe. Okay, this is about your first unit, mobile computing. And I will share you in the group what are the possible questions in first unit, and as well as I will share you the complete material of first unit and in today. Okay, thank you everyone.